Hello, and welcome to the Business Brunch. We are happy that you're here. This is the show that provides continuous professional development in bite-sized chunks. We are trying to bring this to you over lunch. Actually, we're succeeding in bringing this to you over lunch or breakfast or coffee, wherever you are in the world. We are here to bring you joy and information. And we are here to help you connect, learn, and evolve. So if you're joining us live, do say hello. Put something in the chat on the feed that you are on. Be aware that we stream to about 11 or 12 different feeds. So you will only see the comments from your individual feed that you're participating on, but we will see all of them. And we will comment as quickly as we can. So today we are talking about a bit of a continuation from 2 weeks ago when we created the idea of a value proposition. Okay, so now you've had a bit of time, you've come up with a great value proposition. How do we get maximum value from the value proposition? How do we use that to get more exposure, more coverage, more success? And that's something that Vanessa is a specialist in, and Vanessa will be our fearless leader over there for that topic. But first, let's introduce ourselves, and I will go first to Sarah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I will go first. Hi, I am Sarah Farmer. I'm an executive coach and I specialize in developing mindset and skill sets, so confidence and competence with executive leaders and their teams.
Awesome.
To Vanessa.
Okay, so I'm Vanessa Ashworth. I am a marketer and I step in to make you step out. So as an interim contractor, I step into your business to make your business more visible. Or I'm now looking for either interim contracts or permanent roles. So I can make your company more visible. So yes, that's who I am. Melinda, who are you? And who's everyone else? No comments.
I am Melinda Board. I am the Director of Consulting Solutions and Managed Services at Helm 360. And I bring to the show a specialist view on consulting, leadership in the corporate structure, business transformation, and business change. So we have Alicia.
Alicia. Hey, Alicia.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you, joining us. Let us know where you are in the world as well, because we know we go global, ladies, don't we? We go global. So where are you in the world? Here in Blighty at the moment, it is freezing. So if you're with some sunshine, let us know. Oh, there's a snow. It's even more freezing.
Yeah, we had snow last night, so we're everybody's a little bit chilly. Danny's here.
Danny's in. Hi, Danny. How are you doing?
Right.
Okay, so shall we
crack on and let Vanessa let us know how to get max value from our value proposition?
Okay, let's go. So yeah, 2 weeks ago we talked about value proposition and how and why you want one, and how what are they good for and how to use it. But we ran out of time, and I tried to kind of race through it at the end. But we thought, well, let's go back to it actually, and let's kind of spend a bit more time on how you get maximum value from your value proposition. So just very quickly to reiterate, what is a value proposition? It's a promise. It is a promise to somebody of the value that you will deliver to them. So it's not saying I'm a marketer, because that says nothing to your ideal audience, but what are you going to do for them? What's the value you bring? So me, for example, I'm going to make you stand out. And really, ideally, it should be how you help your ideal customer, but in a way that differentiates you from everyone else. And the whole point of a value proposition is not only are you making that promise of the value that you deliver to your ideal customer, but you're giving that that idea of how you're unique to deliver it, because no one can compete at being you. And so if you can stand out for being you and be known as the person who does that, no one can compete with that because there's only you. So that's the idea of that value proposition. You're the only one in the room. You're the only one in the ballpark that can do the thing you do. And it's becoming known for that. But specifically, not what you do, but the value that you deliver to your ideal customer. So that's the value proposition. How do you get yours? Well, obviously, really quickly, you have to know who your ideal client is, so that then you can understand what they do as a business and what their pains are, so that then you can identify what you do as a business and what gains you can give to them by solving their pains. So I did show you this last week. Can you see that? There you go. So you start with the the customer segment. So you think about the customer jobs. So what is it the customer does? So for example, if your customer is a carpet manufacturing company, they've got to buy materials, they've got to run machines, they've got to run those materials through those machines smoothly, they've got to achieve quality, they've got to have a distribution network, they've got to do sales, they've got to have a website, they've got to do the accounting. So think big picture, what the customer's business does. Think about then their pains, what makes business difficult for them, and then think about your ideal customer specifically. What makes business hard for him or her? And then what kind of things makes their business run smoothly? What makes business easy? And then you can then think about your segment there, where you think about the products and the services that you offer, what pains you relieve in relation to their pains, and therefore what gain creators you deliver. And that's the value that you deliver. So it's a really handy exercise to do. And what I would say is here, where you think about customer jobs, you're thinking about the bigger company and what they do and what they have to do to serve their customers. But when you're thinking about pains and gains, get that more to your ideal customer. Think about what they've got to do in their business to do their job, and think about it on an emotional level, because usually in a business, you've got emotional pressure. You're under pressure from shareholders, from the C-suite. You're under pressure from the people who look up to you. So if you can solve their problems so that they can make decisions more quickly, they've got everything under control, they can be a better leader, you've got, not only can they do their job, but they can do it well, which it's an emotional thing, because they're going to save their job. So think about it functionally and emotionally and what you deliver.
And so right now, this emotional thing is really important, because so many people are worried about losing their jobs, and your ability to thrive and stand out for all the right reasons is key, isn't it? So if you can find a way to relieve any of that pressure and help people do their job without the pain and with all the gain, then it's got to be a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's important as well for everybody watching to realize that this is not just business to business, even though the example was business to business. This is also very applicable at a personal level for individuals who are looking for either they're selling to businesses, or as a contractor, or selling to businesses as potential employees.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
all of this is relevant and can be applied to every situation, whether it's an internal thing where you're going for a promotion. What are your values or what is the value proposition you are bringing to that potential new line manager? If you're looking for a new job, what value you're bringing to that company? If you're looking for a new contract, what value are you bringing to that company? So all of these examples can be turned to fit pretty much any situation. That's why this is so important.
Absolutely.
Can we just say hi to Andy Curry? Thanks for joining us, Andy. I don't think Andy's been on the show before, so thank you for joining us, Andy. Maybe you have seen it in the past, I don't know, but great to hear that you're using the benefits of VP a lot. And also we have Jackson, who says appreciated. Well, we appreciate you, Jackson. I'll just have to go back to Danny, who's in Shed Quarters.
The Shed Quarters, I like that. I like all these people who've got these like really funky offices.
It's really nice. I've seen it on Zoom, and it's a very nice shed quarter. So yeah,
cool.
Okay. What's next?
What's next? Okay, so why? How are you going to use it? What value will a value proposition do for you? Well, first of all, as we said, no one can compete at being you. So it gives you that unique advantage, and that's why you've got to have one. So it gives you incredible clarity. If you've gone through this exercise, it gives you something that you can talk about with confidence because you know exactly what it is you do. So whenever you are in a meeting, in an interview, in a sales situation, or in the pub, and someone says to you, what do you do? You've got an answer that you can talk about with passion because you believe, you've gone through this exercise, you believe in what you do, you know what your value is, and it becomes interesting rather than, sleepy and people kind of glazing over when they say, what do you do? And you say, I'm an accountant or I'm a marketer. No, we all hear, don't we, the cleaner from NASA who, when someone says to him, what do you do? I help put men on the moon, so it's quite a little bit different, but anyway, so
it's connecting with the purpose, isn't it? It's having pride in what you do, and when you are leaking that you are proud of what you do and you're not hiding from it or just an also ran like everyone else is, you stand out.
It's very persuasive, very persuasive. Yeah, so it's great for clarity for yourself. It gives you something to talk about. You're never going to stumble over those words or what to write again. But it's also great clarity for who you're talking to as well, because what you're saying to them is relevant because you understand their pains and you're talking about how you can bring the gains, the value to them. So it becomes really relevant. It becomes really memorable. And they're very clear about what it is you do for them. It's not just, I'm a marketing director. No one cares. Okay. So you can be memorable, meaningful, and you stand out. So how can you use it? So first of all, LinkedIn. Whether you are selling what you do, whether you're in a business or whether you're looking for a job, your LinkedIn profile can be very, very powerful. So make sure that it's in your headline. Use your value proposition as your headline. If you are a marketing director, put that in there as well, just for that keyword search ability, but put your value proposition in there in those first 70 characters, because that's what's visible when you make comments. Put it on your banner. So many people don't use the banner. Go to Canva, type in LinkedIn banner. It's free. There's loads of templates there. You can change the colors, put your value proposition in your banner with a call to action and how to contact you. Really, really important. Make it work for you. Have you done a profile video? You can create a profile video, really, really powerful. You can record up to 30 seconds long. It doesn't have to be 30 seconds. It can be 10 seconds. Just read out your value proposition. Do it. There's a challenge for you. What else? Then we talked about your about section. So again, important to note, just like the 70 characters of your headline, the first 2 lines of your about section are visible until someone clicks on see more. So again, work your value proposition into those first 2 lines to make people want to click see more. Also know that your experience today, this is not a CV on LinkedIn. You need to use it to build the picture of what's important to your ideal client. So use that experience to work up, to build up how you've gained that value proposition, how everything has led up to you being the one to talk about the thing that you do and how you help others. And if you can, of course, get references from people to say that, yes, this is proof that this is the value that person delivers, then get those in there as well. Try and make it so that your profile tells the story that you want to tell. Don't lie, obviously, but let's say it's not your CV. Use it meaningfully.
Yeah, it's the whole right and trust, isn't it?
Danny's just popped up with the banner. Keep in mind, about 80% of LinkedIn traffic is on mobile devices. Good point. Don't put things that are too small in there writing, as they won't be legible on screen. Yeah, very true. Absolutely. So check your mobile and your main screen when you're making any changes, because I think the pictures move and you can have missing words and all sorts. So We've also got, just say hello to Zubair. I think I've said that right. I hope so. Nice to have you here.
Just on that, actually, because we're going to talk about content in a minute. So just whilst I remember, because it's one of those bugbears, I often go to LinkedIn on my computer, but also on my phone. And carousels are brilliant, and carousels are really great for telling your story and building out your value proposition over multiple slides. But make sure that that text is big and legible on a mobile, because so many are so tiny, and no one's going to bother trying to zoom in. They're just going to scroll past. So, so good point, Danny, about making sure that what you post is visible and legible. Right. So that's the experience. Oh, here's one. This is more branding, really. But if you want to become known for that thing that you do, think about your personal URL on LinkedIn. Somebody who does this very well is Ashley Leeds, and he's the 15-minute guy, and he's going to help you to love LinkedIn in 15 minutes. And so he's become the 15-minute guy, and he's updated his URL, which in your profile, when you go to edit it, you can edit your URL. So it's LinkedIn/in/something. And if you've not personalized it, it's a very long string of letters and numbers, but you can change it to your name or something else. So Ashley's, for example, is Ashley Leeds, the 15-minute guy. So again, if you're going to share your LinkedIn address, which many, when you apply for a job or as your email signature, if it's going to be visible, if you're going to use that to market yourself, then underline what it is you do in that. So that's a bit of branding, a bit of idea for you there. Next, is there any more comments before I carry on?
Someone saying thank you, very useful. That's Ramiz. Thank you for joining us. Very useful information. Thank you for the session. That's our pleasure.
Cool. Right. Okay. So that's the profile done. Next is your content. So again, your value proposition, it can become the thing that you want to be known for. Okay. The solution that you provide. So think about a personal hashtag. And when you create content, so use your value proposition as your subject matter, what you're going to talk about, what you're going to talk around. Again, you don't need to be stuck for words if you think about what your key subject is. Create a personal hashtag that underlines your value proposition. And when you create a post, then use about 5 hashtags, no more.
I thought it was 3 now.
As far as I know, it's 3 to 5.
Oh, I got the most recent information I got was that it's the 3. It's 3, but
up to 3.
I'm not the LinkedIn trainer, so I don't know. But I'm at 3 at the moment, max.
Okay. Richard Vanderblom did an updated research. So he's the guy I follow for kind of LinkedIn research. I can't remember him saying it's gone to 3. I would kind of always think it's kind of 3 to 5, but who knows?
Who knows?
But I would certainly create one for yourself, and then one for your content, what you're actually talking about, and then one for your key industry. If it's 3, you've got another 2 to play with, if you like. Or Ramiz also thinks it's 5. But, you know, unless LinkedIn tell us, we don't know.
Yeah, the algorithms are a bit of a mystery some days, so all we can do is kind of reverse engineer what works best. So.
Yeah.
So you know what you want to be known for. Create posts, create content, create carousels, create videos about the thing that you want to be known for, and become the thing. Use the hashtags, research hashtags. Think about the hashtags that your ideal client is using, and so search for hashtags so that then you'll find posts relevant that you can comment on. You can comment on all your friends' posts that you like, but unless you're hitting your ideal client, you're kind of breathing into the wind a little bit. Although, you know, it's in the networking, people will know you for that, so they'll refer you for that, but not relying on that. Find your ideal clients on LinkedIn and start commenting on their posts or in that industry to become known for what you that thing that you do, your value proposition.
So, sorry, can I just butt in? Danny says 10 to use 5, one of which is always consistent on every post. Again, I mean, I use 3 consistently, but I don't know if I'm right. Just do what works for you.
Do what works. Yep. Now, more people as well are signing off. They're putting a foot plate on all their posts. Some of them are really long. I find it a bit annoying, so I ignore them because they're so big. But you might think about on every piece of content, just writing your value proposition or that kind of message at the end, just so that you're signing off and reminding people who you are. In your DMs, as your email signature, put your value proposition in there again. Just remind people what it is that how you help. Next level, then find podcasters, find hosts like us, shows like this. If you want to be known for that thing that you do, then why aren't you contacting us and saying, can I come on your show? I want to talk about this. I think your audience would really love it, and become known for the value proposition that you're offering. And in meetings, where are we up to? We're almost there. Gosh,
before you move on,
Go on.
There's a question from Ramiz. And I think this is in relating to that foot plate or the closing statement for posts and things.
Okay, so what I've seen is you create your content, you write what it is you're going to post about, then you'll put a few dots to kind of split out your foot plate. And then for me, for example, I might write then, I step in to make you stand out, offering marketing, whatever, get in contact with me and my phone number or my website or a call to action or something there. But you might, let's say some of them I see that are really long and they've got all this information in, but you might just sign off just with the same kind of an emoji. I step in to make you stand out. And it's the end of every post that you do. Or, in your imagery, you might put, if you're going to share a photo, always use the same background with that value proposition in there somehow. It's just really stamping and driving home what you offer, the value that you offer in everything that you do, so that no one forgets.
Yeah, don't miss an opportunity. Danny said, don't hijack others' posts or tag random people in it. Yeah, that's a bit icky. Not only is it obvious what you're doing and it's not exactly courteous, if the author or tag people don't interact with your comments, you're penalised for spamming. And by penalised for spamming, I'm guessing you mean that your post doesn't get as high a reach, because if you tag loads of people, because lots of people do that, they put 20 or 30 people in their post, and if no one responds to it, the post just dies. Yeah. So if you want to tag people in, do it authentically and put it in the comments, not into the main body of your post. Just create content and own it. Yes.
Own it. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to ride off the back of other people. You want to become the thing that you do all by yourself, don't you? You want to be known for the thing that you do.
Yeah.
And get social proof in other ways. Share references as your content, if you like. If you're going to get people to give you references for the thing that you do, then why not share them once you've got them as well? Again, great social proof. And then in meetings, I think this is, actually, before that, for your website, obviously, the first thing that you should write on your website underneath the logo is your value proposition, who you help and how you help them. In the CV, it's part of your opening statement before you go into everything else. It's the opening statement. In your cover letter, again, if you've read the job spec correctly, and this is what we talked about last week, when you read a job spec, you can often read in between the lines to see what that problem really is. What's the problem they're trying to solve? If it isn't clear, get on the phone to the hiring manager and find out, but do that anyway. But in your cover letter, again, you know the pain. You're going to talk about your value proposition in that cover letter. Like I said at the beginning, if you know your value proposition, you don't need to be stuck for words. I rarely am. If you are a company or you're going to give a presentation somewhere, you've got a PowerPoint that's going to be up on screen as people enter the room, have your value proposition there, opening slide, closing slide. Don't let people forget.
Thanks for that one, because I've got one tomorrow, and I realised I haven't got it on my opening and closing slide. I've got it just second or third slide in.
Yeah.
But actually, it's missing a trick, isn't it? Because what if people only stay for a second? I mean, not they will. Obviously, they're going to be blown away and want to stay.
But the closing slide is important as well, I think.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, because if people are going to be sat waiting for you to start, and then at the end, when you go to questions, you've got a closing screen, then have it work for you all that time. What else?
Just so you know, we've got 5 minutes, and just a Waggy's popped in, so we had to say hi to Waggy. Hello. USP, unique selling proposition. Yes, we do it for product selling. Yes, for human UVA, unique value added. Note that it had UV like a wavelength. Oh, nice, catching your eyes. Yeah. You really like it. Thank you, Waggy.
And I said, didn't I, last week when we were talking about it, the value proposition is basically it's the successor of the USP, because it is your unique selling proposition, but it's laser light focused on their pain. It's the value that you bring to them, not just kind of how unique you are. But I think it was all underwritten in the USP, but not evidently clear. But it's about the value that you deliver to your ideal client.
Yeah.
Where I'm up to. So, as we said at the beginning, no one can compete at being you. So when you are in that meeting, in that interview, giving that sales presentation, what you've got to do is understand the pain. So when somebody says in an interview, for example, hey, Vanessa, talk me through your CV for a few minutes, stop. Your CV is almost irrelevant, because if you're not talking about their pain, it's just fluff. So what you need to do is kind of say, okay, love to, let me first know, what problem do you need to solve? What's your pain? Let's understand that. And then I'll talk you through my CV with the parts that are relevant, and that we can kind of hone in on what it is you need, and how I've delivered that in my past. So don't think that you can't challenge and ask questions. Understand their pain at the beginning, and then you know where to direct. Like I said, once you know your value proposition, once you know the pain that you're solving, you don't need to be stuck for words.
And just to add to that, I mean, it isn't even a challenge. It feels like it is, because you think you should be the subordinate in that situation. But my constant reminder to people on this is, you're there. It's a meeting of minds. You're there to have a two-way conversation. Am I good for you? Are you good for me? If so, let's talk. If you don't stand up and just start dribbling through your CV, it's what everybody does.
Yeah.
Stand out. Do it. Yeah. Do it properly.
Well, and also it's that pivot, and that's really the difference between the old USP and the value proposition. The old USP is, how great am I, and you should see my value. Whereas the unique value proposition is, how well can I help you achieve your goals? Nice. Same thing when you're approaching interviews. It shouldn't be all about how great I am and you must hire me because I need the job. But it should be, let's pivot that and say, how can I be the best solution for the problem that you have?
Absolutely. And going back to what we said at the beginning, I've said a few times now, you're building you and what's unique about you and how you solve that problem, how you differentiate yourself. So if you concentrate on their problem and how you solve it, no one can compete at being you. So they might do something differently. They might have the same goal. They're going to understand the problem and how they solve it, but you won't be, you're not competing directly then by just being marketing directors or just being whatever, accountants or whatever. You're now competing on you being you and who's the best fit for the company.
We have 1 minute left.
I'm done. So understand what it is, how you get yours, and how valuable it can be. And it's all about kind of, once you know your purpose, you know what your value is, you're never going to be stuck for words. It becomes really compelling and easy to talk about, and people believe it because you are compelling, because you understand, you've broken down, you've been through that exercise, you know what it is you deliver.
And one of the things you need to be able to do that is belief in yourself, which means you need to look at what you've achieved. And guess what we're doing next week?
So next week, we're going to be looking at not just celebrating successes at the end of the year, but we find that a lot of people struggle to really identify the success points, because obviously the human brain is wired to remember kind of the negative stuff, to be honest, so that you can protect yourself from that in the future, but you kind of minimize the positive. So tying in with our goals discussion, last week, and all of the other themes that come with the end of the year, is we are going to look at how to identify success and celebrate our successes.
Absolutely. It's the last show of the year, isn't it?
Yes.
Are we going to be sparkly?
I would think we should be sparkly and probably
should happen.
donning a red hat of some nature.
There should be some decorations, shouldn't there?
Yeah.
So it looks very plain.
I'll just have my zebras. They're colourful. But yeah, bring your hats, bring your sparkles, and bring us. We would like to hear what you're super proud of this year.
Absolutely.
We'd like you to look at what you've done well. Come and tell us. Be proud about it. Shout about it. Because once you can start talking about this stuff, you'll connect the dots for other people's brains to see what you're brilliant at. We don't all know unless you tell us. So come and tell us. And it's a pleasure, Waggy. So I'm just popping through. You're always sparkly. We love Danny. Future, yes, good.
Good.
I agree. And Ramis, thanks a lot. It's a pleasure, Ramis. Thank you for joining us. Vanessa, thank you for being awesome and sharing your valuable knowledge with us. And we shall see you all next week.
See you next week. Come and join us.
Bye.
Bye.